Alright, so I'm sitting here. I've been here about 20 minutes. They had a failure with a skid steer this morning, so they're operating their skid steer that they borrowed. It's a John Deere, and you can tell he's just not comfortable running it in there. They're filling up a tender. I'm getting 24 tons. There he is. I'm getting 24 tons, and that should work out. At least, well, I'm hoping it works out. But there's another guy behind that tender, so I don't know if the tender will be full and leave, and then they got the little guy, little spreader that's there, or whether that tender is gonna need to be filled up with 2. But I don't know. Could be 2, could be 1. Who knows? We'll get there. Shut it off real quick till he gets out in there. This is how you do this. Okay. Go ahead. And then you walk them on, one at a time. You only idle this. You can run and do that real quick. Me and him will be here, and then I'll go see this guy. These are pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I imagine they wear out faster than a lot of things, but I don't know. And he should be able to just come right up on there. You don't want it to get too far ahead of him. Sometimes. He could probably push the damn thing halfway up the trailer with that tractor.
Yeah.
But, and I was going to do that.
I could see that being hard on the floor though.
Sliding is sliding.
Yeah. And this will be preventative from injury, unlike last year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another thing I got to deal with is baling twine.
Well, this just gives us a lot more opportunities for that.
What's that?
It gives us a lot more opportunities where we don't have to pay for it to deliver.
Right. Yeah, well that's it. I just saved $250 on this one. That load there.
Yeah.
They charge a lot of money.
Well, if this is 2 loads of them, 2 or 3 loads of what they take, technically that's quite a bit more.
It's a lot of money. I mean, it's a little more inconvenient for us with the cleaning it up and stuff. But
Yeah.
maybe.
Half hour to spray out the deck.
Yeah. That one on. So that's how you do it in reverse. That. Okay, when you get to 10, when you get to 9, you follow it till it's about 10, and then you got to watch it real close because it'll push right out the front. I got a little bit of damage up there because I was not paying attention. And when you don't pay attention, it costs you money. Just so you all know. You should be able to get that in there tight. Good. He's got it. It fits exactly 20 bales. I could get more in, an extra 3 in if I flipped them up on their top. And, but yeah, that's not happening because I don't have the time to mess with it. But for the most part, that's all, folks. Oh. Okay, so my day started pretty early this morning. You know, pretty early, I guess, for a hay farmer. Now, I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I didn't get done last night until somewhere around after 8. Then this morning, again, up at 4 o'clock, went down, picked up a load of spent, brought that up. Then I went up to the fertilizer plant, picked up 24 tons of fertilizer. And then, after that, we washed out the trailer. Obviously, we want to keep it clean because I don't want fertilizer in there. And the fertilizer got on the hot brakes, melted into the pads, and I was like, well, that's got to be washed off because it'll just chew those pads right up. So we rinsed that all off, and then of course you just saw me load that load of hay. Now I'm off to see a property owner. So a new property owner. I got a phone call last fall, and by this property owner. He's like, hey, would you farm my property? The guy I've got on here right now just flipped out at me because I mowed some more of the field than he thought that I should have mowed, and it's my lawn. And I can't stand somebody that yells at me for maintaining my own property. I wonder who hit that sign. That's pretty recent too. Anyway, so I'm picking that up now. It's not much, but it's next to some acreage that I have. And then I've got another piece of property that I'm picking up from somebody else that, well, he's got other things in his heart, and he's done with, really getting done with farming. So he's downsizing, so I've picked up some ground, which is nice, because I lost some ground this year. I lost some ground, and I mean, I guess I could explain it a little bit. Mommy and Daddy sent this kid to a college that's specific for agriculture. And one of them's a lawyer, the other's a banker, and their little Johnny is a You know, he's a college graduate with a degree in agriculture of some sort, and he doesn't have any farming skills, and he doesn't have a farm. So mommy and daddy built him a building to grow hay in, and to store hay in, and a whole slew of brandy spanking new equipment that is just, you know, ripe for the day. You know, let's get ready for sunshine. We're going to make $1 million making hay. So anyways, he's been running around and sniping some ground off, which really kind of annoys me, because I hate it when these little douchebags do that. You know, it's like, yeah, we all got to start somewhere, but you know, they got a bankroll behind them, and once that bankroll is no longer a bankroll, and mommy and daddy say, you know, you're off the tit now, you got to make it on your own, that's when I got to go back and clean up messes. I really hate going back and cleaning up messes. Got a few properties like that. One property that I wouldn't take back because the guy no, he didn't deep chisel. He had one of these John Deere offset discs that had like a 26-inch disc on it. It was meant back in the late 90s, mid to late 80s. They had this program to stop sod busting. You weren't, you know, it was just crazy thing. Anyways, John Deere came out with a disc that would disc literally a foot deep or more, a foot and a half deep. It wasn't very wide. It was like a 12 or 14 foot disc, but it pulled hard and deep. So he gets this thing, and we have a hell of a rainstorm, and he worked it to talcum powder. He spent 4 days on these fields, back and forth, till when you stepped on it, it was like stepping into feathers. And we had a wicked storm. Like, when I say a wicked storm, it was a wicked storm. Now, I farmed that for several years, and I grew corn on it, I grew soybeans on it, I grew a lot of hay on it, and did, you know, over the course of about 10 years, I had some pretty decent crops. I never saw a rock on the place. Not one rock, ever. Well, after this storm, the water liquefied the soil, the topsoil, and sent it down the hill. And I've got somebody calling me. And that was my new property owner. He's a little worried. He's waiting around. He doesn't understand farming just yet, but he will. He will. He bought this property, and yeah, he's new to the area, and seems like a nice, ambitious guy. Got a new baby, about the same, a little younger than William, but anyhow, yeah, so that's the story. That farm, after the dirt all washed away from it, there's rocks. And I'm not talking rocks like this. I'm talking suitcases. And I chiseled and disked, and I even moldboard plowed that thing and never tripped the plow. Never tripped the plow on any of those fields. And let me tell you, it would take you, I don't know, probably a week's worth of every day pulling rocks off of this farm to get them off of there. But the topsoil's gone. It washed down that hill and plugged the drainage ditch. The hay field on the other side of the driveway, it was so thick in the driveway they had to take a snow plow, and they were pushing it with a snow plow. It was that thick of mud across the driveway. The hay field looked like they plowed it, and because I went down through there afterwards, because I got a panicked phone call. What do I do? And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. But it went right down to the Delaware River, and it was gone. All that soil was gone. But they plugged the drainage. They were pushing the dirt off with the snowplow, the mud off with the snowplow, and then they had a little tractor. I want to call it a little Massey Ferguson tractor, I think, with a front end loader on it. And they were scooping the mud into a manure spreader and putting the mud back on the field. Yeah, that bad. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. It was like a California mudslide is what it had to look like. Yep, a California mudslide, and it was here in New Jersey. That farm is farmland preserved. I think the guy that's doing it now, I don't know what he has done, but he's got animals down there, probably millions of tons of shit, sheep shit, goat shit, and cow shit. And basically got to rejuvenate that soil before it would grow anything. And it was nothing to grow 150 to 200 bushel corn on that place. It was really good soil. Just a shame. It was really good for alfalfa, really. But now, I don't even know what you would call it. I would call it wasteland. I wouldn't even want it. I wouldn't want it back. But anyways, the property owner, she went belly up. She was farming and she was farming and had the hired man do this to her. And by the time it was done, she went belly up. She ended up with cancer, belly up, and sold the place. And yeah, what a mess. I just finished up with one property owner, and I left the property, and it's a go. It's 11 acres. Doesn't sound like much, but it's 11 acres I didn't have earlier. And I get up the road and I'm looking at another piece of property which is hundreds of acres. It doesn't look like anybody's doing it, and I'm going to inquire about it. And then I turn around and the phone rings. It's Dad. He's like, "Hey, I got a phone number for you. The guy's up the road here. He's got some ground that's right next to ground that we're doing. Give him a call." So he gave me the phone number. I called him right up. The man says, "Wow, that was fast." It's like, yep, fast as I get, you know. So I drove right over. I was only a mile and a half away from him, and bada bing, bada boom, I gained some more ground. So today, an extra 20 acres or so. So that's what we're doing. Now I'm gonna go visit a friend, and then I'm gonna go home because I've been up since 3:30. Okay, good morning, and yeah, thanks for watching this all the way to the end. As you notice, I have not been posting much lately because I've been really, really busy. Right, William? Yeah. And making videos just hasn't been on the top of my list of things to do, just for the simple fact that work is more important right now than making videos. And that new walking floor trailer you saw at the beginning of the video was just, well, I wish I had one a long time ago. It would have saved me so much time and trouble. Yeah, you just walk the bales on, walk the bales off, go over to the spent pile, load it yourself, and get out of there. They charge you a fee for the spent. Doesn't matter if you put 1 bucket in or 5 buckets in or fill it right to the top. They don't care if you're overloaded, underloaded, or sideways loaded. And why are you talking? Little Indian? Little Indian? Go ahead, go. He makes noise. Why are you all wet? Did you pee?
Okay.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Go talk to Ma. Hey, Ma.
Hey, Mom.
Go downstairs and say, "Hey, Mom, I'm wet."
Mama. You're wet. What?
Yeah, I don't know whether he pulled it out and squirted all over himself or what, but
Ew.
you're welcome to childhood. He wasn't. Don't. You're gonna fall down them stairs.
Do that.
Children. Good golly. Anyway, yeah, we'll get back to a more regulated schedule later in the spring. I got a lot of things going on. Right now we are in New York. I got 2 guys up there right now. I am going to go up in a few minutes. Oh, here's one for you. Stuff I Heard podcast. Go check it out. He gave me this shirt and I liked it, so I wear it. It's actually quite a comfortable shirt. It's not a bad shirt at all. A lot of guys, they'll send you a shirt and it's like, "Man, did you buy the cheapest, itchiest piece of shit you could find to send to me?" But this one's actually really comfortable. Joshua Peak, Stuff I Heard. Stuff I Heard podcast. So anyway, I don't know where you find a podcast because I don't really listen to podcasts, but he posts on YouTube under Joshua Peak his podcasts. And you could check that out. I'm not endorsing him. I'm just saying that that's where I got the shirt. And yeah, I guess I am endorsing him. Go listen. See what happens.